There's a new movie coming out called Michael 2026, and am I the only one who didn't know that it was just a walking controversy? Because it is just a mess of a movie. But for the record, I am going to go see this in theaters, and I am very excited to do so. Let's talk about all the controversy.
Crap on top of crap on top of crap on top.
Right off the bat, this film stars Jaafar Jackson as Michael, who is Michael Jackson's nephew, and is produced by Antoine Fuqua, who is in association with Lionsgate. Most importantly, it is co-produced by the Michael estate. That is an important detail that will come back, so remember that. Keep that tucked into the back of your brain. You may be asking, will this movie touch on Michael's dark past? That's what I'm asking. Or will it avoid those aspects? What we know it will include, according to sources: MJ's childhood and the Jackson 5. It will hit on that. His rise of fame through Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, those kinds of movies. Joe Jackson, who was Michael's father and his abusive father at that, so that will be in the movie, and it will end at the Bad Tour era in the 1980s. Now, according to the official description of Michael on their website, and I'm going to read this quote word for word, it says, "Michael will bring audiences a riveting and honest portrayal of the brilliant yet complicated man who became the king of pop." So that's what they include. Now, here's what the movie definitely leaves out, according to sources. It leaves out the 1993 Jordan Chandler allegations, which was all about sexual abuse back in the day. It also leaves out the 2003 Bashir documentary, which was also about abuse. This is a pattern, just saying that right now. Leaving Netherland, also about abuse. This one was in 2019, and it gained a lot of traction, definitely changed the public opinion of Michael Jackson. None of it is included. Very fascinating. And what's worse is that this movie has been delayed for a year because of rewrites and legal disputes over the Chandler case. Now, they finally got all that figured out, but we're walking a very dangerous line, right? It seems like this movie has just been caught up in legal mess and drama for so long that I hope that they're going to portray Michael correctly. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I would love if you would do that. My name is Ethan Wood. Today you're watching Cut the Crap, where we dive into modern movies and the cultural implications of them. I love movie reviews, but I love going a little bit deeper than that. And if you love that too, this is the channel for you. So I'd really appreciate if you like this video, share it, subscribe. All these things help with the lovely YouTube algorithm. So let's dive into what's really going on with this movie so that when you go to the theaters, you are well informed and well aware of what's going on behind the scenes. So a quick note before we go any deeper, everything I say is based on facts and articles. If it's an allegation, if I'm just saying things because I'm connecting the dots in my own brain, but I have no proof, I will say that. But for the most part, allegedly, all of this is news articles and facts. So let's rewind. Let's go back to 2022. And that's when the rights to Michael Jackson's music were sold to Lionsgate by the Michael estate. Now, this is totally fine. A deal was made. At first, nobody saw anything that had false intentions. But then you started to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Now, in 2019, a documentary called Leaving Netherland dropped, and this was directed by Dan Reed. Now, he focused on the allegations of sexual abuse, especially child sexual abuse, that Michael Jackson was accused of and convicted of back in 1993. And a couple more people, that wasn't even Jordan Chandler, but a couple more people in his documentary named Wade Robinson and James Safechuck were the ones who starred in his documentary and told their stories of how they were abused by Michael. Now, whether you believe it or not, it did shift public opinion in a huge way. People started to pull his music from the radio. Debates exploded online. Michael's legacy took a bit of a hit. Now connect all the dots, right? A few years later, the estate partners, they go to Lionsgate and say, hey, we would love to sell you the rights to this music so you can make a movie out of it. I mean, coincidence? Maybe. I'm definitely kind of starting to connect the dots again. Allegations. Allegedly. That maybe the estate is trying to do something bigger. Dan Reed even said this about the film. It's an out-and-out attempt to completely rewrite the allegations and dismiss them out of hand, and contains complete lies. Now, I got that from The Deadline, but Dan might be right. That's a very strong claim. And here's the thing, it doesn't even stop there. It keeps going. So fast forward to 2025, the movie is basically done and is ready to release in theaters. Guys, this movie was set to be released last year. And then everything just falls apart really, really fast. In 1993, the Jordan Chandler case became a problem for Michael. Jordan Chandler came out and said that he was accusing Michael of child abuse. Without getting lost in the details, basically, he did win that case, and a couple of clauses were made as a result. Now, there's one clause that was written into this document that said that Jordan Michael cannot be portrayed in a movie later on, because they knew Michael was a big figure and could be put into media, so Jordan Chandler didn't want to be a part of it. So it prohibits Chandler's image from being portrayed on screen. Now here's what gets crazy. The movie originally opened with a police raid on Netherlands. Leaving Netherlands, that one is about the raid that the police did because he was accused of child abuse and they were trying to rescue any children from Michael. It was built toward that allegation. The original was trying not to avoid it, and it ended with a full third act focused on that controversy. That was the original vision, but now that that clause was discovered after filming, and I'm saying that correctly, it was discovered after filming the entire movie, Fuqua had to go back and rewrite a bunch of things. He had to go back with the estate and make sure that he could portray it accurately, but also, take out all the parts about Chandler. They had to reshoot major portions of the film. According to Variety, they had to spend about $10 to $15 million just to refix this thing. It delayed the movie by a whole year, and they had to cut 30% of the movie, guy. The entire third act had to go. And that completely changed the ending. The whole movie itself is completely different. I almost want a Schneider's cut of this movie like we did for Justice League, because there's just so much of this movie that doesn't exist anymore because of legal problems. So what do we have now? Well, it's a movie that used to confront the hard part of Michael's story, and now it completely avoids it. And that makes me sad. Like, genuinely, that hurts my heart, because I know that Jordan Chandler was right. He wanted that in there. His lawyers wanted that in there to protect him, but it's actually what's silencing his story. Think about that, the irony in that. That is wild. So what are we actually watching? Now we're in 2026. The movie's about to be released on April 24th. The trailer looks solid. The performance looks promising. Jaafar Jackson looks like he's going to knock it out of the park, so don't even worry about him. And the question isn't, is this movie good? It's, what are we not being shown? And is that taking away from the experience of the movie? Because that's where this gets bigger than just a movie, right? Like, I want a movie to have a powerful performance. I want it to compel me in some way. I want it to inspire me. But when it's an attempt to reshape how I view a certain thing, that almost feels like propaganda. If I were to go that far, it feels like you're trying to manipulate me in some way, even if it wasn't done intentionally. The fact that they're not portraying Michael's life fully, especially now that I know that it was, and they had to go back and rewrite a bunch of that, it feels like we're trying to cover up the 2019 Jordan Chandler case.
Allegedly.
Which is not what this movie should be. This movie should just be an accurate portrayal. It should be artistic. It should just be something that I go in and I say, yes, he was a messed up man, but the legacy that he left is also important, and I need to hold both in my hands at the same time and recognize that everyone is in fact flawed, including Michael Jackson. And yes, I'm not supposed to aspire to be him, and I don't want other people to aspire to be him either, but I also need to recognize that he had a lot of artistic vision, and that's important at the end of the day too. Okay, so now I'm curious. I want to know what you guys think. So I'm going to give you a second, and then I'm going to tell you the question. Here's what I want you guys to walk away with. Is what you're not seeing more important than what you are seeing? And there are many movies like this, guys. I know that there are more movies out this like this type of propaganda-ish movie. And again, The Estate, maybe they didn't do this. Maybe this isn't supposed to be a humongous $150 million PR campaign. But if it is, if that was their whole appeal, then what are we doing? Why are we feeding this monster? Why are we letting this happen? So that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys really enjoyed this content, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. I would love to also know, what movie should I review next? What should I be looking at for the future? I'm hoping to go see that movie pretty soon, hopefully next week, and then I can get a review out for you guys from Michael. I'm very excited to go see it. So yes, go watch another video, go look at something else. I appreciate you guys' time. I will see you in the next one.